Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? I'm Mohammed Okail. I work at Ijtihad High School in Yusufia. I'm so much happy to present this lesson, which concerns reported speech. Okay, and this lesson is for first-year students. So before we start, you should know that in this session, we are going mainly to practice or to focus on the practical side of reported speech, okay? So, but before we start, practicing or doing the exercises, it is of great importance first to shed light on the components of reported speech. So what is meant by reported speech when we talk about reported speech? Okay, so as you can see, there are two ways of reporting what one said, okay? Either directly or indirectly. So when we talk about reported speech, we can talk about direct speech or indirect speech. So the first case, which concerns direct speech, we repeat the speaker's exact words. Okay, so we repeat the speaker's exact words. For example, I have written the date. She said, I have written the date. So this is direct speech, okay? Second, in the second case, it means in direct speech, we keep the speaker's exact meaning, but we can change his words. We are not asked to use the speaker's exact words, but concerning the meaning, we are asked to keep the meaning, okay? So we keep the exact meaning of the speaker's utterance without necessarily using his exact words. For instance, she said that she had written the date. So here in this example, the direct speech is shifted to indirect speech, and the sentence is, as you can see, she said that she had written the date. So generally speaking, when we talk about reported speech, you are asked to try to dismantle this noun phrase. So what is a reported speech? So reported speech is a phrase whose head is speech. So the head noun is speech. And this is the head noun, and reported is just a modifier. So reported speech is a noun phrase whose head is speech, and it is preceded by an ed. Reported is considered as ed, participle adjectival, functioning as pre-modifier of the head noun, which is speech. So reported indicates saying what one has said, and the speech can implies whatever people or whatever comes out of the mouth. Okay, so it can, for example, speech implies people's utterance. Sentences, questions, expressions, etc. Okay, these are called speech or people's utterance. So the speech can be a simple statement, or yes, no question, or WH words or commands. Now, what are the characteristics of the reported speech? Or exactly speaking, the direct speech. In order to distinguish between direct speech and indirect speech, you are asked first to know the characteristics. So the characteristics of direct speech are, first, we find the use of reporting verbs. So reporting verbs they are called as well introductory verbs, characterize reported speech. Second, we find as well comma and quotation marks. Generally speaking, quotation marks and the time expressions and verb tense. So these are the characteristics of direct speech. Now, what about the qualities of indirect speech or reported speech? If, for example, I'm going to give you later on an exercise, and I ask you to put it into indirect speech, and you are asked to omit or to make some changes. So what are the changes or the characteristics that concerns that concern reported speech or indirect speech. First, we omit the comma and quotation marks in general. So comma, colon, etc. These are omitted when you transform a certain sentence into indirect speech. You are asked to omit quotation marks. Second, you are asked to use dot, and it is called, linguistically speaking, dot, zero dot, zero dot clause. It is optional, okay? This dot is optional, but you are asked to use it with some verbs. For example, explain or complain. If you find a certain sentence in which you have the introductory verb as explain or complain, then you are asked to use that. Okay, it's obligatory. And you are also going to change the pronouns and the change of the verb tense. Okay? The change of the verb, I mean, it is conditioned, as you can see. Okay, it is conditioned. Why? Because if the introductory verb is in the simple present, there is no change in the verb tense. But if the reporting verb or the introductory verb is in the past, then you are asked to change the verb tense. That's why you can see condition, okay? And you are also going to change the time and place indicators, okay? Now, what about the changes? Of course, I mean, in order to transform a certain sentence from direct to indirect speech, you are asked to know how to change, time expressions. For example, if you have today is changed to the other day, last week is changed to the previous week, okay? Tomorrow, you can change it as the following day, etc. So these changes are very important and necessary in reported speech. And also demonstratives. You can find in a certain sentence demonstratives, and you are asked to change them. For example, this becomes that. These, these, those, etc. Okay? Modals, if you have modals, may, it becomes might, can, could, will, would, etc. Tenses as well. And the pronouns. If you have, for example, I should be changed or shifted to he or she, we, it becomes they, etc. So, as you can see, verb tenses. So, without having a good mastery of tenses, then you cannot deal with reported speech. Doing reported speech or answering, exercises concerning reported speech obliges you to have a good mastery of the verb tenses, okay? So you are asked here to learn by heart all the forms of regular and irregular verbs which you find at the end of the book. Now we move to the practical part which concerns our session. So it will cover, simple sentences, opinions, yes, no questions, WH words, questions, and commands, okay? So first exercise, report the following opinions. The first one, or the first sentence, sport is very important in everyone's life. Sport is very important in everyone's life. Ahmed thinks that, what can we say? How can we transform this sentence? So in order to answer this question or to report this sentence, you are asked first to have a look at the introductory verb. This is the first step. Okay? So if you find the introductory verb in the simple present, then there is no change concerning verb tense. Here we have, as you can see, thinks. It is in the simple present. Then you are asked, okay, to keep the verb tense as it is. Here in this case, we have simple present, which is is. So Ahmed thinks that sport is very important in everyone's life. Okay? Second, COVID-19 is threatening the world nowadays. How are we going to transform this sentence? Samira believes that, or this opinion. The same steps as in the first example, okay? So as you can see, believes is the introductory verb or the reporting verb, which is in the simple present, though there is no change concerning the verb tense. So we say, Samira believes that COVID-19 is threatening the world nowadays. And concerning the third, opinion, factories should be set outside the city. Factories should be outside the city, according to Bob. So according to Bob, factories should be set outside the city. So there is no change concerning the verb tense. Why? Because the verb or the introductory verb is in the simple present, as you can see here, thinks and believes. So if you find the introductory verb in the simple present or future or present perfect, then there is no change concerning the verb tense. But if you find the verb, introductory verb in the past, then you are asked to change the tenses, okay? Now, as you can see in the answers, Ahmed thinks that sport is very important in everyone's life. Samira believes that COVID-19 is threatening the world nowadays, okay? According to Bob, factories should be set outside of the city. Now we move to sentences, okay? So in reported speech, you can find either opinions or simple sentences or questions. We are going to see questions, etc. So we move now to sentences. How are we going to transform them? So rewrite these sentences in indirect speech. First sentence, Yassine said, I expect to hear some news tomorrow. The teacher told me the students are writing the lesson. He pointed out the dog has stolen the meat. Martha said, I saw a ghost yesterday. They confirmed we will play tennis next week. She cried, the house is on fire. And the other sentence, I haven't finished this exercise. He informed his friend, and the husband told his wife, I can't travel next month. So how are we going to transform these sentences? Well, before we move to the answers, first, what is the step? The first step, in order to transform a certain sentence, how are you going to transform it? What is the first step? The first step, as I have just said, you should see first the introductory verb. When we talk about introductory verb, there are a lot of introductory verbs, okay? Or reporting verbs. They are called reporting verbs or introductory verbs. For example, confirm, say, tell, explain, inform, inquire. There are a lot of introductory verbs. If you find these verbs in the simple present, then there is no change in the verb tense. But if you find that the verb is in the past, you are asked to change the verb tenses. And when we talk about the changes of the tense, if you have present, it should be shifted to simple past. Present continuous becomes past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, past perfect, etc. Okay? So the first sentence, Yassine said, I expect to hear some news tomorrow. In this sentence, the introductory verb is, what is the introductory verb? The introductory verb is said. So said is the simple past of say. So this, tense obliges us to change the tense of the verb in the direct speech. This is the direct speech, okay? And we are asked to change the tense. That is to say, here we have expect. It should be changed. So how are we going to change it? We say, Yassine said that he expected some news. Okay, so expect becomes expected. Why? Because the verb is in the past, said, not say. If we have Yassine says, then there is no change. But here we transform it. And the following day. So we have tomorrow becomes the following day. It is time expression. Second, the teacher told me the students are writing the lesson now. The same steps. The first step is that we have the verb in the past told, And we are going also to change the time expression, which is now, and that's all, okay? So the teacher told me that the students, here we have present continuous. It becomes what? It becomes past continuous. So our writing becomes was or were writing, because here we have plural, okay? The students. So the students were writing the lesson then, okay? So this is the way we can change it. The teacher told me that the students were writing the lesson, or were writing the lesson then. And number 3, he pointed out the dog has stolen the meat. He pointed out the dog has stolen the meat. So here we have, I mean, the introductory verb is pointed out. Here, pointed, it is in the past. So the verb has here, the tense here is present perfect. Has stolen, it should be changed to past perfect. Okay, so he pointed out that the dog had stolen the meat. Had stolen the meat. Why? Because the introductory verb is in the past. And the other sentence, Martha said, I saw a ghost yesterday. So the same thing, okay? In the past, this verb should be in the past or past perfect because it is in the past, okay? So Martha said that she had seen a ghost the previous day, okay? So yesterday becomes previous day. Here we are talking about time change, okay? The change of time expressions. We have also, they confirmed we will play tennis next week. So they confirmed we will play tennis next week. The same step. The verb in the past, here the tense should be changed, okay? So we will play tennis, and we have also next week. It should be changed as well, okay? So they confirmed that they would play tennis the following week. This is the way we can transform it. And she cried out, the house is on fire. So she cried out that the house was on fire, okay? He informed I haven't finished this exercise. He informed his friend. We can change, okay, the structure. So he informed his friend that he had, okay, this is negative, hadn't finished that exercise. So this exercise, okay, this becomes that. And the last one, the husband told his wife, I can't travel next month. I can't travel next month, okay? So the introductory verb is in the past, so the tense here should be changed, and also time expression as well. So the husband told his wife that he could, okay, that he could travel the following month. Now we move to yes/no questions. You can have, okay, you can have questions, and you are asked to transform them. For example, is it raining very heavily? He asked them. Is it time to go? They wondered. Do you believe in superstition? I asked him. Have you seen my new hat? She asked us. And will the taxi be here at 8 o'clock? He inquired. So if you have, yes, no questions, you should use, okay, you should use what? You should use if. It is obligatory, okay, to use if or whether. So, is it raining heavily? He asked them if it was raining heavily. We apply the same steps, and we add, the if, which is considered as conditional, okay? So, the second sentence, is it time to go? They wondered. Here, the verb in the past, though, it should be changed in the past. Is it? It should be was. But there is an inversion auxiliary, okay? And the subject, there is an inversion. So they wondered, is it time to go? They wondered if it was time to go, okay? So here we have an inversion of the subject and the auxiliary. Is it time? Is it time to go? Becomes, if it was time. So if it was time to go, that is to say we change the position of the subject and the auxiliary. Okay. Number 3. Do you believe in superstition? I asked him. So I asked him if he believed, okay, if he believed in superstition, and the other one, she asked us, have you seen my new hat? Okay. She asked us whether we had seen her new hat, and when will you, or will the taxi be here at 8 o'clock? He inquired. It will be turned as, he inquired if the taxi would be there at 8 o'clock. And the rule is that auxiliary plus subject becomes if in the reported speech plus or whether. You can use either if or whether plus subject plus auxiliary. Now, WH question. The same process that we apply in the yes-no question, we apply it in the WH question, but we keep here, we don't use if, but we keep the WH word. What's your name? He asks me. What has happened to John? She wondered. Where are you going tomorrow afternoon? He asks me. Why does he sing so loudly? They inquired. When will you come again? He asks me. So in the WH question, we keep the WH word. It can be what, where, when, why, who. These are called WH questions. So the first one, he asks me what my name was, okay? He asked me what my name was. And the second, she wondered what had happened to John. He asked me where I was going the following day. And they inquired why he sang so loudly. And he asked me when I would come again. And the rule is that we keep, as I have just said, WH word plus auxiliary plus subject. It becomes WH word plus subject plus auxiliary. Now, commands. If you have commands, how are you going to transform sentences expressing commands? For example, wait there till I come. He ordered us. He ordered us. So in commands, we use to. For example, in this sentence, wait there till I come is transformed as he ordered us to wait there till he come. Okay? Or he comes. Second, read the text. The teacher asked the students. So the teacher asked the students to read. Always we use to, okay, to read the text. And number 3, look where you are going. We told them. So we told them to look where they are going. To look where they are going. And the other one, imitate my pronunciation in order to speak well. I advise her. So I advise her to imitate. I advise her to imitate my pronunciation in order to speak well. So the rule is that in the negative sentence or command, you, for example, he, okay, don't try to be funny. He ordered him. So he ordered him not to be funny. So in the negative form, we use not to. Okay. In the affirmative, we use to, and the negative, we use not to. Okay. The rule is that so affirmative. I mean F. Okay. So infinitive plus to. Okay. To plus infinitive, and the negative form we have don't plus infinitive. It becomes not to plus infinitive. Now we move to conditional. Condition is something that has to be fulfilled before something else can happen. And to express conditions, we use if. It is obligatory in conditional, okay? And it is followed by then. So we are put with a formula which is if, then. If X, then Y or Y follows. So if X happens, then Y follows. Types of conditional we have 1, 0, 1, and 2. So to sum up, okay, you should know that reported speech is listed at the end of the book. Why? Because it recapitulates all the, or it covers all the lessons, tenses. I mean, I'm talking about tenses. So you are asked to learn them by heart. Regular and irregular verbs are very important. You are asked to learn them, learn all the forms of them, okay, by heart, okay? And you know also the changes, time, the time, demonstratives, and tenses as well, okay? So at the end, I'm so much happy to meet you, and this is Mohammed. Thank you very much.